Red Bull's secret hope that Honda might ride in as a last-minute savior for 2026 has gone up in flames. For a team built on ruthless ambition and daring gambles, the thought of a safety net was tempting, but that dream is gone forever. Honda has not simply turned down the offer, they have slammed the shutters and walked away without a second glance. Now Red Bull stares down Formula One's most unpredictable engine era, with no fallback, no lifeline, and no manufacturer waiting in the shadows. They are bound solely to Ford, locked into a partnership that must deliver under the fiercest pressure. For weeks, the paddock was alive with hushed speculation that Red Bull might reach out to their old ally, Honda, for one final lifeline if their ambitious new project began to wobble. Could the powerhouse partnership that conquered Formula One from 2019 onwards really find its way back together? For some, it was a romantic fantasy, a safety net Red Bull might secretly keep tucked away in case Ford's powertrain experiment faltered under the weight of 2026's radical regulations. But Koji Watanabe, president of Honda Racing Corporation, brought those whispers crashing to the ground with words as sharp as a thunderclap. His response was neither vague nor diplomatic. It was brutally clear. "That is not possible at all," he told AS Web, delivering the final nail in the coffin of speculation. Then, with chilling certainty, he added, "Even if we were asked to do it now, it would be too late. The chances are zero." Since 2019, the alliance between Honda and Red Bull has been nothing short of devastating for their rivals. A juggernaut that bulldozed its way to 4 consecutive drivers' titles and a brace of constructors' crowns. Together, they didn't just win, they redefined dominance, blending Honda's relentless engineering with Red Bull's razor-sharp racecraft to build an empire at the very top of Formula One. But in Formula One, even dynasties crumble. The curtain will fall on this powerhouse partnership after 2025, and Red Bull is preparing to leap into the most dangerous gamble in its history, building its own engine. This is no ordinary challenge. For the first time in the sport's long, brutal history, a non-manufacturer team is attempting to design and build a hybrid power unit from scratch, right as the 2026 regulations usher in the most seismic shift the sport has ever seen. The new era demands more than just horsepower. It demands mastery of electrification, sustainable fuels, and cutting-edge energy recovery systems. Every component must work in flawless harmony, and every failure will be exposed under the most unforgiving spotlight in motorsport. Red Bull has the brains, the budget, and the bravado, but will that be enough? On paper, the plan gleams with confidence. With Ford backing them on hybrid and sustainable fuel technology, the project looks formidable. But behind the bold press releases, the whispers in the paddock are relentless. Rival engineers mutter about impossible deadlines. Insiders talk of the steep learning curve that even the greatest manufacturers struggled to climb. The question hangs heavy in the air. What if it fails? Would the greatest team of the hybrid era suddenly find itself powerless on the grid? Could Honda, having already pledged its full might to Aston Martin, ever ride back in as a last-minute savior? Or has Red Bull burned that bridge forever? Unlike giants like Mercedes and Ferrari, Red Bull has no sacred blueprint etched in decades of engineering mastery. They are trying to build a power unit empire out of thin air, laying down facilities brick by brick, hiring armies of staff, crafting new systems, and constructing entire supply chains. And if Red Bull stumbles, the reckoning will be merciless. Every critic will sharpen their knives, asking why they let Honda slip through their fingers, why they abandoned a proven formula for an untested empire of their own making. If Aston Martin, armed with Honda's reborn firepower, surges to the front, it won't just be defeat for Red Bull, it will be humiliation. The very team that once ruled through daring risk-taking could be undone by the boldest gamble of all. And Aston Martin? They're not wasting a second. Honda's power unit is already being married to a bespoke gearbox from Silverstone's finest minds. Testing is underway, blending British engineering precision with Japanese discipline. Koji Watanabe has made it clear, this isn't a partnership in name only. Engineers, mechanics, and designers from both sides are already working shoulder to shoulder, building not just hardware, but a unified philosophy. We're testing both parts and people, Watanabe said. We've run multiple sessions with both Honda and Aston Martin staff working as one. The early signs are electric, both literally and figuratively. Within the walls of Red Bull powertrains, the stakes have never felt heavier. There is no hidden safety net, no familiar partner ready to step in if the project falters. The entire venture is driven by sheer ambition and the immense burden of preserving a reputation built on years of dominance. Each dyno run feels like its own high-speed showdown. Every tweak to the design software could tip the balance between triumph and disaster, and every strategy session with Ford is laced with unspoken tension. The margin for error is paper thin, and one wrong move could unravel everything they've built, which is why Ford's name carries such immense weight in this comeback story. To truly grasp it, you have to roll back the clock to an era when Ford didn't just participate in Formula One, they owned it. Their crown jewel, the Cosworth DFV, unveiled in 1967, became a weapon of legend. Between 1967 and 1985, it collected an astonishing 176 Grand Prix wins and powered icons like Jackie Stewart, James Hunt, Emerson Fittipaldi, and Mario Andretti to world championships. Back then, Ford wasn't a sponsor badge or a marketing tool. It was engineering royalty, but dynasties don't last forever. The turbo revolution of the 1980s left the DFV gasping, and though Ford tried to claw back relevance with Benetton and Jordan, the golden touch had faded. Then came the Jaguar racing fiasco in 2000, a corporate blunder so catastrophic it chased Ford out of Formula One entirely by 2004. In a twist dripping with irony, the team was sold to none other than Red Bull, a circle now complete but with history threatening to repeat itself. 2 decades after walking away in shame, Ford has returned, but not as the owner of a team, not as a factory giant with its own squad, but as the unlikely partner in Formula One's most daring experiment, Red Bull powertrains. On the surface, it feels almost poetic. Red Bull, the reigning titan of the turbo-hybrid era, joining forces with Ford, a company boasting hybrid expertise, sustainable fuel innovation, and the kind of historic weight only the blue oval can carry. Together, it looks like a partnership made to conquer the future. But beneath the surface lies the harshest of realities. The curtain has come down on one of the most dominant partnerships in modern F1 history. Honda and Red Bull, a duo that turned Max Verstappen into a 4-time champion and crushed the constructors' fight between 2021 and 2024, are not just splitting up. This is not a pause, not a temporary separation. It's a permanent, frozen goodbye. The cold truth is that Honda has no intention of ever turning back to Red Bull. Hybrid-era power units are monsters of engineering complexity, and the ticking clock of 2026 leaves no space for second chances. Koji Watanabe's rejection wasn't polite or diplomatic. It was a sledgehammer blow. The chances are zero, he said, and zero means zero. 2 years of development with Aston Martin are already locked in, and Honda has made it clear the past is irrelevant. The future belongs to Silverstone and Tokyo working hand in hand. Red Bull, meanwhile, is staring into the abyss. They've severed the cord with Honda, charted a new course with Ford. The gamble is absolute. Build a competitive power unit from scratch, or watch the empire they built on Honda's horsepower collapse under its own ambition. The message could not be clearer. For the Bulls, the only path forward is to make this work, whatever it takes. If Red Bull's engine gamble with Ford backfires in 2026, who carries the blame? Red Bull for letting Honda go, or Ford for stepping into a war they weren't prepared to fight? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, bye for now.